You may have noticed by now that the Chaos Dwarfs are a rather contentious people. They hate everyone equally and spend most of their time scheming up ways to conquer, dominate, and otherwise enslave them. There are 3 races they hate more equally than the rest, and really, it just boils down to mountain-dwelling buffoons. So here, at the Wyvern Cliffs in the Badlands, the grounds will shake and shatter, and the Demon's Tongue is about to go some nasty places. The Dawizar Pain Train has no brakes as the DREADQUAKE Mortar locomotive is unleashed against Skaven clan Pestilens. Trust me, there are going to be some fireworks this battle. But the Ratmen have cooked up some unpleasant concoctions, they poison the rivers, and their melee rush is sure to overwhelm the Hobgoblin hordes in short order. Plus, we've got a sorceress dogfight between a Prophet of Hashut and the Pope of Pestilens. Should be quite the spectacle indeed. So, looking at the armies, the Conclave of Sorcerers is led by a Caster Lord, Ashstorm and Flames of Asgore to clear out the Vermintide and slow their approach for the train to drop J-Dams on their heads. The explosive output of that train in the background, it's really damn impressive. He is innately an infernal engineer, imbuing missile resist and reload skill to any nearby war machines, joined by the ever-stylish blazing beards of Bazarak, who toss naphtha grenades like it's their job, generally have an insane stat line for a relatively cheap price point. I didn't actually realize their stats were that good. That's kind of crazy. Almost 50-50 MA and MD. Joined by some additional Chaos Dwarf infantry and a horde of hobgoblins and slaves, including wolf riders and a contingent of flame arrow skirmishers out on the flank. But as you might expect, the army is a bit small and inexpensive here, because the Demon's Tongue DREADQUAKE has taken up more than a quarter of the funds all by itself. One of the most expensive units in the entire trilogy, this unholy monster is 3,350 gold to field, and has a multitude of ways to erase you from the face of the planet. It can shoot you with its dual flamethrower projector cannons mounted up front, it can lob mortar shells in a 360-degree arc, it can run through multiple formations of heavily armored infantry without breaking a sweat due to its insane mass, and it can turn any scrum into a smoky pile of corpses. This is the pinnacle of Chaos Dwarf trains as it stands currently. It does not get bigger or more customizable than adding a DREADQUAKE to either an Iron Demon or Skullcracker at the moment, but that may change in the future. On the other side are the bubonic tides of Skaven clan Pestilens, going full thematics in this one, under the meme lord himself, Okoi, champion of the people, 3 Plague Claw catapults, Blight Scab's Plague Pack, Plague Monks, and the Pope of Pestilens himself. Okoi has for some reason stripped all his spells away except for Liber Bubonicus, because he's a strange child and apparently doesn't like summons. It's a bold strategy, Cotton, let's see if it pays off for him. And as the battle gets underway, y'all better scramble for cover because the nukes are incoming and there is no escape. Now watch the HP of those Plague Monks start dropping. The Earthquake left behind isn't just for show, it isn't just for visual variety and funsies, it causes serious harm to anything passing through its radius. So even though that first shot wasn't perfect, as they move through, it's going to deal about 2,000 extra damage, take those Plague Monks well down past half HP. The only artillery piece in the game that can compete with the DREADQUAKE in an indirect fire roll is the Queen herself, Mama Bess, but that's a stationary emplacement, very vulnerable. The Dawizar put their version on an armored train, and all it knows is pain. All it feels is rain. How can it maintain with madness on the brain? And at least at the start of this match, it's going to feel a bit like a campaign quest battle. Massive, thematic horde coming your way. Sit back, chill, and blow it all to pieces. It's a mortar though, it can still miss. When it does, it can still cause problems with that lingering AoE, and with the monstrous impact when it touches down, slowing speed by 60% for 10 seconds. So not only can it obviously devastate hordes of infantry, it can also slow them and make it easier for your other ranged troops, your Infernal Guard, your blunderbusses, to get good volleys in too. Stack that up with Ashstorm, and the enemy army isn't going to be moving at all. Been a bit inaccurate at the start, but still getting very good value because of that slow and because of the massive AoE every time it touches down. But now Clan Pestilens is mostly into melee, and as the sneaky gits open up with their throwing knives and the Plague Claw catapults rain down from above and start clearing out some of this Chaos Dwarf infantry, well, the melee fight isn't going to go too well for the Dawizar. If we take a look at what Clan Pestilens has brought this battle, it's all Plague Monks, bonus versus infantry, and it's all Censor Bears, who are, of course, AP. So they will overrun the Drassar emplacements in short order. There's not much the Sorcerer Prophet can do about that. He's going to watch as his battle lines implode as that Berserker fanatic rush of the Skaven swarms over his position. but he has a couple spells that could help turn the tide. Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits will trade okay here. Their throwing knives are good versus low armor, and they have innate bonus versus infantry, but it's simply too much to expect from them, and they will be chopped to pieces under the flails and fury of the furries. Doing what they can, holding on for at least a little bit, but it's brutal. It's going to be over pretty quick for them. Nasty shot coming in from the DREADQUAKE Mortar. Another really good one, taking out half the unit of Plague Monk Sensor Bears. And as the Skaven touch home, we're going to watch it in real time as these battle lines break apart. And there's been really good cover fire for them as well. You can see those Plague Claw catapults are kind of wrecking the Blazing Beards of Bazarak and Chaos Dwarf infantry in the rear. Another look at that shot. That's so nasty, man. The impact itself didn't touch the formation, but it still ends up doing more than 1,500 damage just as the earthquake resonates throughout the rest of that formation. Pretty crazy to watch. So now, the terrain is about to be inundated. Chaos Dwarf lines are shattering already, but an Ash Storm to slow down this impending assault, and a Flames of Osgore volcanic eruption from beneath the earth, just straight up deleting 2 full units and 120 kills instantly as the train charges into melee. Now, the really cool thing about the Demon's Tongue and all Iron Demons when they are connected to a DREADQUAKE Mortar is they will unleash all kinds of steam explosions around them. And as we take another look at the Ash Storm and Flames of Asgore combo, which again will lower their flame resistance by 20%, it's essentially 20% extra damage from that spell, just completely exploding Blightscab's Plague Pack and erasing them from the face of the earth. The Cutthroats and the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits are breaking. The train is unleashing steam everywhere, and it will rack up dozens of kills every time the demons within release their pent-up rage. But the Plague Claw catapults have not been silenced yet. They're doing all kinds of damage. You can see Skaven Clan Pestilens has just done such a good job with this melee rush. But the Wolf Riders and the Archers are still online, and those Starved Packs are on the hunt. I'm not sure they're going to enjoy the snack on the other end of it. I don't think eating bubonic plague rats is usually a very tasty treat, but they will manage to silence the Plague Claw catapults with a nice hammer and anvil coming from both sides, sandwiching those artillery crews and outmaneuvering the Skaven slaves meant to protect them. The DREADQUAKE Mortar just fired into a tree, not recommended, and we're seeing, it looks like actually the Sorcerer Prophet himself is in big danger here, going after him. Not much left in terms of infantry on the Dawizar side. Those Wolf Riders are still firing in, and of course against the low armor of Clan Pestilens, they can probably do a lot of damage firing into relatively high value targets. Plague Monks and Sensor Bears, both really good targets for them. Another mortar shot arcing its way in, and Inferno on the other side. It hasn't had any massively flush shots yet, but it's still dealing so much damage, and that Earthquake racking up another 1,500 or so as it charges in. Remember, deals flaming damage in melee too. Ash Storm will make these Plague Monks weak to fire, and those Scything Blades up front, combined with the incredible mass and momentum, not right now, but generally when it gets ahead of steam, it can run over pretty much anything. And it can also activate the more power ability so that it gets more mass, more speed, more acceleration, and do stuff like this. Straight up bust its way out of the fight, charge through Blightscab's Plague Pack, who have come back with only a handful of their models remaining. The big question for the Skaven right now is how the hell do they deal with this armored train? It looks like it's just going to have free reign to do whatever the hell it wants here. And that is the reality. This Hellforged construct has so much HP and so much armor that you really need to have Rat Ogres or a Hell Pit Abomination or something with a lot of mass to pin it down and wail on it. And right now the Skaven are lacking that. Sensor Bears, maybe if given enough time and enough models, could chunk their way through, but it would take a lot of effort. And the Iron Demon with the DREADQUAKE on the back, well, it's designed to run over infantry too. So with a Liber Bubonicus being sent its way, that's a decent chunk of damage there, but it's still very healthy. And the Skaven don't have much chance of killing it with their build, to be honest. So what we're going to do instead of pretending like this is going to be a close one, we're going to watch the DREADQUAKE Mortar start racking up insane kills. It's at 286 right now. That is about to skyrocket into the next dimension. And by the end of this battle, it is going to have a kill count higher than any unit I have ever seen at default funds. And that is without Scroll Calving Vermintide or Pestilent Birth, which would have just fed it even more. Now, unfortunately, there is a bug with its minimum fire arc currently, which means the dual flamethrower projectile cannons on the front are actually not going to end up shooting much this battle, which made me super sad. But it's, oh my god, oh no! Yeah, that did a lot of damage. Oh my god, oh my lord. Yeah, the Dreadquake does damage, boys. Ash Storm, Earthshaker, explosions, fun combo. Everything's dead. And whatever's left is routing. But yeah, that bug with the flame projector cannons not firing all the time has been reported. It's only an issue when you attach a Dreadquake to the Demon's Tongue. If it's by itself, it's fine. We'll have another replay coming up where that napalm has plenty of time to shine in the sun. But yeah, it's not going to end up mattering this game. I would have loved to be shooting flamethrower at the same time because it would have gotten even more kills. And it's still not done yet. But this is one of those situations where it's pretty much perfect, right? Like a horde of infantry, not a lot of single entities or monsters to pin it and chunk it down with AP. The Sorcerer Prophet is in big danger. Skrull is still chasing after him. He's been running for most of this battle. Got 125 kills with that Flames of Asgore, and other than that, has pretty much just been acting like a track star. Wolf Riders are coming in to reinforce, and this is where the Dreadquake will really drop the hammer. Those Wolf Riders did a number on the artillery crews in the back, but as the Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats start moving forward to close into melee, they're not going to make it. The entire formation just kind of conglomerates around the edge of that Earthshaker, and they can't move through the Earthquake at all. 60% slow, taking all kinds of damage over time. Thing is brutal. Had so much fun with this game. Again, it was a perfect situation. You're not always going to see it perform this well. But man, that is just unbelievably entertaining, and it is pretty much going to be a mass rout from there. Plague Daddy will try to tether their leadership and keep them on the field for a little bit longer, which the Dreadquake is fine with. He's got more ammo. He's got more stuff to kill, more stuff to explode. But Skrulk actually survived being surrounded there. Plague Claw Catapult landed some really good shots and routed off the rest of the Chaos Dwarf army. So really both armies are in tatters, but the only unit that matters at this point is the Dreadquake. And there is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The mortar will find you. The tremors will shake your bones, and it will send you screaming into Age of Sigmar. One final shot to put the nail in the coffin for the Thagaraki. Can they dodge it? Nope. Ash Storm coming in at last as well, and that's going to be a Servants of the Conclave Pyrrhic victory. But their most important unit is still on the field and healthy. Dreadquake Mortar, man, really enjoy it. 633 kills. Absolutely wild. And it's not just inflated kill count either. It's not like it just farmed that on Skaven Slaves. It had 3,000 damage value against Skaven. Pretty good. Fun little artillery duel there too. The Plague Claw Catapults were actually great in this game. They killed a lot of the Hobgoblins and they killed all of the Chaos Dwarfs, and the Blazing Beards of Bazaraku really weren't able to make much of an impact on this game at all. The rush itself worked really well. I mean, the Plague Monks and the Censor Bears straight up ran over the rest of the army. They just had nothing to deal with a 3,300 gold behemoth of a train. It had too much armor, too much mass, too much speed, too much killing power against infantry, and yeah, this is not a Skaven meta build at all, but GG to Okoi. Really enjoyed that one, and thank you for the cinematic and fun replay. Peace out.